So welcome everyone. So let me give you a very brief idea that how we can share doubts with each other so that we have a very smooth doubt class. So all of you must be a part of discussion group. I have added the people who have already purchased the course are in a private discussion groups. You guys can send your problems in those groups, but the people who are taking the demo or haven't enrolled in the course, you are also in one of the Telegram group. So you can send your problems in that Telegram. If you don't have screenshot, you can just mention the exercise name or the chapter name or the notes from where you want question to be discussed. Okay. So I will be first taking some common doubts which everyone is faced, and many of people sent me these doubts, and then I will be taking the doubts which you particular doubts that you have. I will be available till 5 or 6 p.m. whatever it takes to clear all the doubts, and afterwards we will close the session. Initially, we will take all the doubts of the foundation physics. Whatever doubts you have in foundation physics, you are all participating in that. Actually, more than 400 students are taking the free foundation physics course. So after we are done with that, you can ask any other doubts as well if you have anything in your mind. Okay, so let's just begin. So let me begin the session. So welcome everyone. So do you all have the doubt in this question? How many of you have doubt in this question? The number one question which is in front of you. Many people sent me this doubt that this is your doubt. Very good question actually. A very base your understanding will be checked in this question. So let's see what is this question. So basically this question is from Dirac delta function. Now, if you clearly see this question, there is 4 partial derivatives and there is one function. So this function will go inside for all 4. So first you will do this operator on this, you will do this derivative on this, then you will do this and this, then add all 4. So you have to do derivation 4 times, differentiation 4 times, and then add all 4 and get an answer. So I will reduce this problem. So what we will do is we will just take 2. So we will say there are only 2 and there are only 2. And whatever trend we are getting, we will extrapolate our result based on that. So we will just see what kind of trend we are getting. So instead of taking 4 variables, I'm just taking 2 just to get a feeling that, okay, what is going on. So let's see what is happening here. So curly square. So first of all, I will find out curly square by curly x1 square into 1 by x1 square plus 1 by x2 square. Okay. So this is what I'm trying to do. So if I differentiate once, I will get this. You all can do a differentiation quite easily. If you differentiate once, you will get this. Now, if you differentiate once more, I am not going to tell you each and every step. I have written here. I will share this. But if you differentiate one more, you will finally get this result. So if you differentiate 2 times, you are going to get this result. You can check this by yourself. Now let's do our second term. So now what we are going to do is curly square by curly x2 square, curly square by curly x2 square into the same function. Now we don't have to repeat the differentiation. What we can do is, you see that what was this thing? This was curly by curly x1 square, 1 by x1 square plus 1 by x2 square. So if we just replace x1 and x2, if I just simply replace x1 and x2, I will get this thing. Do you agree? In previous result, if I just simply replace x1 and x2, we will get this thing. Do you agree with this? Right? Are you getting what I'm saying to say? We don't have to differentiate again. We can just replace x1 and x2 in previous result and we will get the answer. Isn't it? Yes, no? What do you think?
Yes, sir.
Right? All with me? I don't want to skip any step. If you don't understand, let me know. Do you all understand that if we replace x1 and x2, we will get the result which we want? Right? So if we replace x1 with x2, let's do that. So x1 will be replaced by x2, x2 will be replaced by x1. Again, here it will happen. So what we did is we found curly by x1 square and curly square by curly x2 square. Now we just add them. So if we add them, if we add them, if we do some more algebraic steps, you will reach here. If you add them, you will reach here. Now, if you solve this problem, then you will get this. You can cut these two, and then you will get 4 by x1 square plus x2 square, which means this thing is proportional to x1 square plus x2 square minus 2. Let's see which option is this. This is option D. Because instead of x1 plus square plus x2 square plus x3 x square plus x4 square, we have ignored, right? So what we got is, our answer got is x1 square plus x2 square minus 2. Isn't this the same thing which we got? But this is not the only answer. So do you want me to take you through the steps and solve it, or is it okay if I skip the steps? I have written all the steps. Do you want me to show you the algebraic steps? I can do that as well. It's a doubt class. Be open, okay? It's not a one. I am not delivering the lecture. Okay.
Yeah, ठीक है, see.
So what happen is, you see, you get x1 square plus x2 square minus 2. But your answer is B. Your answer is B. It's not D. We can clearly see that answer is D. But why then our answer is B, not D? Can anyone tell me? You can see, look at this result. You can clearly look at this result. You are directly getting x1 square plus x2 square minus 2, but the answer is not D, it is B. Can anyone tell me why this is happening? It's a very interesting concept. Anyone has any idea?
Sir,
Yeah.
that differentiation can be done in at the points when x1, x2, x3, x4 are 0.
Are not 0.
I mean, when the x1, x2, x3, x4 are not 0, then only the differentiation can take place, and
yes,
the answer will be.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So you see, we got here, we got till here, this point. Then what we said is, we can cut this thing and cut this thing. Right? This is our assumption. And if we cut this two, we get this answer. But what if x1 square plus x2 square is 0? This is also possible, right? If x1 is 0 and x2 is 0, then this entire thing is 0. And then what we are doing is, we are getting 0 by 0. Right? In numerator also it is 0, and in denominator also it is 0. Or what we can simply see is, if we put 0, 0 here, what we are getting is 1 by infinity. If my x1 square plus x2 square is 0, then answer which I am getting is 1 by infinity. So it means my answer is valid. This answer is valid if x1 and x2 are not 0. If both of these are not 0, then this answer is valid. But if both of them are 0, then my answer is infinite. So this is why I can write my total answer, the final answer, as this answer plus this answer. Why I have added this? Because you clearly know that when x1 is 0 and x2 is 0, this thing will become infinite. But when x1 is not 0 and x2 is not 0, this thing will become 0. And if this becomes 0, you are only left with this answer, which is true. When x1 is not 0 and x2 is not 0, and this thing becomes 0, then you are left with this thing. But when x1 is 0 and x2 is 0, this thing becomes infinite, and your answer is infinite. So it means your final answer is proportional to delta x1 into delta x2. So your both B and D are correct, depending upon which case is it. So you understood the solution, how this extra term came. I can repeat this if you haven't understood. Very important. Yeah. So let me repeat this slowly. Let me rewrite again so that it is crystal clear actually. Because it took me a lot of time to understand this once I first studied this concept. So let me give you an idea. So what answer I am getting is, the final answer I am getting is x1 square plus x2 square whole square divided by x1 square plus x2 square raised to power 4. So what I said is my answer is x1 square plus x2 square whole square. So this answer is valid. Answer is valid if x1 equals to x2 equals to not equals to 0. If x1 and x2 are not equals to 0, both of them are not equal to 0, it means your x1 square plus x2 square is not equals to 0, then this answer is valid. But let's say if x1 square plus x2 square is 0, then your answer will be 1 by 0 equals to infinity. Then your answer is infinity. So how do I tackle this situation? So I will say my final answer is x1 square plus x2 square minus 2 plus delta x1 minus 0 into delta x2 minus 0. So how is this answer satisfying what I need? So you know the property of delta. The delta x1 minus 0 is infinity when x1 is 0, and it is 0 if x1 is not equals to 0. So if x1 and x2 are not 0, it means my delta becomes 0, and my answer is x1 square plus x2 square minus 2. But let's say if x1 and x2 are 0, then this thing becomes infinity, and my answer is infinity. So isn't it the same thing which we should be getting? So your final answer is dependent on this thing as well as this thing. So your B and D option both are correct. So you can go up and see that your B and D should both be correct. Is it clear, guys, now? So it's advanced concept. Anyone have any?
Can we?
Yeah, tell me,
Yes,
please.
so can we add extra terms by hand? Because this is an operation, and the operator needs to give us things which the solution has. So can
Yes.
we add extra terms by hand?
Yeah. So what you are saying is ki how I added extra term by myself, and why didn't your operator gave that extra term to you? So in fact, operator itself gave you an extra term. Why? Because while differentiating, we assumed that x1 square plus x2 square is not 0. We took an assumption and we keep on doing the simple differentiation, and finally we got an answer. But we didn't consider the case for which x1 square plus x2 square can be 0 also. So if you also consider that case, then you will realize that, okay, yes, that delta operator will come by itself. Dirac delta operator will come by itself. You are not actually adding it by you are not manually adding it. The operator, the differential operator is giving you that. But since we are not used to doing differentiations in that way, so we went on doing differentiation in normal way. And in the end, we discussed the case where x1 square plus x2 square is actually 0. And then we realized that, okay, if this is happening, then it means there should be an addition of delta terms. Okay. Yeah. So we are not actually manually adding. Your differential operator is giving this. You can, so let me give you an idea. So let's say you want to differentiate this thing. Right. This is the simplest thing you want to differentiate. So how do we differentiate this? We say x square and x square got cancelled. So differentiation of 1 is 0. But no, you didn't consider the case that x can be 0. Then how you are differentiating 0 by 0? So if you differentiate this, then you will get an answer of delta x. So what I showed you is only this case. But if I also consider this case, then I will get this delta x also. And in the end, I added both of this. Is it fine?
Yeah, okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So is it clear, everyone? Should I move on?
So how can you say that we are in the first thing we add only two terms of x1 square plus x2 square plus x2 square plus x2?
It's metric case, no? It's metric case. So you can clearly see x1, everything is metric, right? x1, you can extend this up to as many terms as you want, right? You can even add fifth term, sixth term, right? It's symmetric, right? Nothing is changing as such. Instead of discussing four things, differentiating four things, you can just differentiate and get an answer, and then extend the same logic for other terms as well, right? So it's symmetric case, no problem at all in that.
Okay.
So I'll always try to do this kind of short tricks. Whenever there is something long and you think that, okay, this will be a problem, reduce it. Instead of discussing four variables, just solve the thing for two and then extend your answer. That is much easier approach. Yeah. Anything else in this question? Almost no one was able to get this question. Anyone else? Any doubt in this now?
Sir, how will you know that we have to go for a 0, x1 square plus x2 square equals to 0 in exam?
Options were giving you the hint, isn't it? The option was giving you the hint that, okay, Dirac delta function is there, so you have to consider that case. Also, I will say, once you do electromagnetism, right, this concept also comes in electromagnetism, then you are aware that this can happen. Currently, maybe you haven't done that in electromagnetism, so you are not aware. But once you do in electromagnetism this concept as well, then you are aware that, okay, this is also possible. Also, options were giving us a direct hint that you have to consider that x1 is equals to 0 and x2 equals to 0 case. Yeah, anything else? Okay, so let's move to the next common doubt, which was asked by almost everyone. This one. So how many of you have a doubt in this? Very quickly, there is your hand. Okay, be interactive in the doubt class. It's not a lecture. Okay, I already gave enough lectures. So how many of you have doubt in this? Anyone who has been able to solve this? Who can solve? Who has solved this question? Great. Mohammed Ismail has solved. Great. You can talk to me in chat also. That is also good. Okay, so let me discuss this. So there is a three-dimensional function, Dirac delta function, and you want to reduce it in terms of the parameters of spherical polar coordinates. So in my notes also, one thing which I mentioned was delta r minus r naught is equals to 1 by r square sine theta naught, delta r minus r naught, delta theta minus theta naught, delta phi minus 1. I hope that this identity is known to everyone, because this was also written in the notes, that whenever you have a Dirac delta function, you have to divide by this r square sine theta. What is this r square sine theta? Can anyone tell me? Very famous thing for spherical coordinates. What is this?
Jacobian.
Yeah, this can be written as Jacobian or volume element also, right?
Sir, H factors.
Yeah, if you multiply h1 h2 2 h3 3, what you will get? Right, you will get yaad hai nahi yaad? What is h1 1?
Sir, 1.
h2 2 r, h3 r sine theta. So if I multiply all three, I get r square sine theta, right? So this is what I have divided, r square sine theta. Now the next thing, multiply by delta. What is the first component of spherical coordinates? R. So r minus r naught. What is second? Theta minus theta naught. And what is third? Phi minus phi. So this is a basic property. Now, but in here you see your answers are in cos theta, and none of the options are matching with our answer. No option is matching directly with this. But if you clearly see, I have to replace theta with cos theta. So how can I do this? How can I replace theta with cos theta? That is a major question. So what I will do is, I will just take this thing. So I will take cos theta minus theta naught, cos theta minus cos theta naught. So I have also explained this in my lecture, that inside delta function there is a function. So inside Dirac delta function, there is a function which is g theta equals to cos theta minus cos theta. What will be the roots of this equation? If I make it 0, what will be the roots? Roots will be theta equals to theta naught, isn't it? If theta equals to theta naught, the roots are theta equals to theta naught. Simple as that. Now, if there is a function inside delta function, how do you write this then? So you write delta theta minus theta naught divided by g dash theta naught. Ye property yaad hai? Do you remember this property? I have also discussed this in the lecture itself. Notes may be given here. Right? If you have, I will again repeat. So let's say I will go very slowly so that there is no confusion at all. So there is a delta function, and inside the delta function, there is another function. So, and I want to simplify this. I want to simplify this function, delta function. So what my rule says is you can make it equals to delta theta minus theta naught mod of g dash theta naught. So what is g dash? G dash is a differentiation of g theta. So do a differentiation of g theta and put the value theta naught. And what is theta naught? Theta naught are the roots. Whatever are the roots of the equation, that is theta. Fine. So what is my g theta function here? My g theta function is cos theta minus cos theta naught, or simply you can say my g theta function is cos theta. What if I differentiate this? So the differentiation of cos theta will be sin theta. So my g dash theta will be sin theta, and cos theta naught, since it is a constant, 0. So my differentiation of g theta is sin theta. So now what I will do, I will put the value of theta as theta naught. So I will get sin theta naught. Okay, so let's put it in this identity. So delta g theta is equals to delta theta minus theta naught. So delta theta minus theta naught divided by g dash theta naught. So g dash theta naught is sin theta naught. So it means delta theta minus theta naught is simply equals to delta g theta, which is delta cos theta minus cos theta naught. So in this equation, in my first equation, what I can do is I can remove this sin theta from here and I can put here. And I just proved that this entire thing is equals to delta cos theta minus cos theta naught. So what is the final answer that we will get? 1 by r square delta r minus r naught delta cos theta minus cos theta naught delta phi minus phi. Okay. So which option is this? This option is number 2. So you understood this, what I did? So I replaced delta theta minus theta naught by sin theta naught using this. And how I replace this? I expanded my delta cos theta minus cos theta naught using the property given by this. Any doubt here? You can let me know if you have any doubt. So this question was also a bit advanced, and I think this was also asked in some of the exam. I'm not exactly remembering which exam, but I think either GATE or NET it was asked. So maybe for JAM students it could be little tricky concept, but for MSc student I think you should be able to get this. Any doubt here, guys? समझ आया ये?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Next, let's come to the next doubt. Any doubt here? So third doubt. How many of you have doubt in this question? This is from the Taylor series, and many people sent me this doubt that how to solve this problem. So what problem is this? So you are given some differential equation. So differential equation is given. First step is find y, which means the solution. So find the solution of this equation and get your y. And once you know y, then you can easily solve the question of Taylor series. But the major problem is, how do we solve this differential equation? The only way to solve this differential equation is using numerical methods. Okay, there is other way also. There is an analytical method also, but the answer which you will get from an analytical method is very big. You will get tan inverse, you will get log, so many terms you will get if you find an answer using simple analytical method, and that is also a very long method. But the easiest method to find the solution of this differential equation is using the numerical methods. So I will be discussing this question when I will be discussing numerical methods. There is a very simple numerical methods using which you can solve the differential equations. So I will be explaining that how you can solve the y, and once you know the y, then you can easily solve this Taylor question. So this was asked, I think, in the CSR Net exam. This question is based on numerical methods. So I will teach you in the later stage. Don't worry about this question for now. Okay. I want to discuss this question. This question is from Jacobian. Does anyone have doubt in this Jacobian question? There were few people who sent me this question. Have you tried this question? Anyone who is able to solve this question? है कोई जिसने ये क्वेश्चन सक्सेसफुली सॉल्व किया हो? So there are 2-3 people. Very nice. Very important question. Now, why this is important? Will this come in exam? Maybe yes, maybe no. But why I need this question? This question is needed so that you actually understand that how you can reduce the problems in a simple manner. One of the major problem is, not in every question you have to exactly solve what is needed. You have to come up with some tricks so that you go close to the answer. Your all idea is to go close to that is what you have to do in TIF, for example. In TIF, for example, if you start doing each and every question thoroughly, you will not get answer to any question. You have to come to some tricks so that your question becomes easy. So that is what I'm going to teach you. So what is given to you is x1 square plus x2 square plus x1 and so on, this equals to 1. So first of all, whenever there are n terms, assume something. So I will assume there are only 3 terms. So your n is 3. Which means my x1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square equals to 1. Which means my x3 is equals to xn. So my last term is xn. But what about next? Then u1 is x1 by xn, which means my u1 is x1 by x3. My u2 is x2 by x3, fine. And my un minus 1. Un minus 1 means u2 itself. So I don't want to go beyond u2. The final you have to go is till n minus 1, which means up to 2. So I have find up to 2. So my u1 and u2 are decided. Now I want to find this. I want to find curly u1, curly u2 up to n minus 1. Again, it means up to 2. So I want to find curly u1 by curly u2 divided by curly x1 by curly x2. Very simple. Curly u1 by curly x1. This will be your formula. Curly u1 by curly x1, curly u1 by curly x2, curly u2 by curly x1, curly u2 by curly x2. So if you do curly u by curly x1, you will get 1 by x3. If you do curly u1 by curly x2, you will get 0. Similarly, here you will get 0 and here you will get 1 by x3. So if you solve this determinant, you get 1 by x3 square. Now you remember what is 1 by x3? x3 is xn. And what is 2? 2 is n minus 1. So I can write this only. So 1 by x3 square can be written as 1 by xn raised to power n minus 1. So this is your answer. You can verify. Did you all also use the same trick? The people who solved this?
Yes, we are.
Right? Muhammad Ismail has some other thing. So Muhammad, can you tell me what you used?
What I did was, so exactly what you did, I did, but I did it for n, sir. Like there is a property of matrices. Like if you take a determinant of square matrix, like all elements are except the diagonal elements, all of them.
Yeah, I agree. So you made determinant equals to the product of eigenvalues, right?
Yes, sir. The product of all the diagonal elements. And since there are n minus 1 diagonal element and
Yeah.
all of them are the same, so to the power of n minus 1.
Great. That is also nice. Yeah. Great.
Sir.
Great. So, yeah. Any doubt anyone here? Please feel free. If you are comfortable in Hindi, you can ask doubts in Hindi. Okay. There is no problem in that.
Bhaiya, x3 also has a dependence on x1 and x2, right? So how del u1 of and del u1 del x2 is 0.
Del u1 by del x2 is 0. Why? Okay. So you are saying
Yes.
that your x3 has a dependence on x1 and x2. Okay. Let me check this. X3 has a dependence on x1 and x2. Yeah, so very good question, but again, I will say, out of 3 variables, you cannot assume all as dependent variables, right? Let's say you have this equation, right? So you cannot say that all the variables are independent. Oh, sorry, dependent. Means this is dependent on this is dependent, this is dependent. One of them at least has to be independent also, right? Because in an equation, one is independent variable and one is dependent variable. So in this equation, which variable I assumed as independent, that is x3. And based on that, my x2 and x1 are changing. I have to make sure that at least one of the variable is in my hand. In that variable, I will be putting the values, and then I will be getting the values of x1 and x2 according to that. So in my equation, at least one variable has to be independent, and that I have chosen that not necessarily be x3, but I have chosen that as x3. And according to that, x1 and x2 becomes dependent. So you got my idea what I'm saying?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yeah. So you have to make at least one independent. Yeah. What else? Any doubt till here? Okay. So last question, which was common doubt, was asked to me, is this one. How can I represent delta function in this? In which form I can represent my delta function? So the property of delta function is, if I put 0, I should get infinity. I should get infinity if I put x equals to 0. Okay. So let's put x equals to 0 in first one. So you can clearly see sin nx by x and limit is n approaching to 0. So if I simply put n 0, what will be my answer? 0. But what should I get? I should get infinity. So definitely my first option is wrong, because if I put n 0, my answer is not infinity. My answer is coming out to be 0. First of all. Second thing, let's see the second thing. So limit infinity approaches to 0, epsilon by x square plus epsilon. So my epsilon is approaching to 0. So if you put epsilon 0, what you will get? 0 by x square. Okay. And if I put x also 0, then I get 0 by 0. So I am getting 0 by 0. So what can I do to make sure I am not getting 0 by 0? L'Hospital rule. So I will differentiate up and down. So if I differentiate up in a numerator, I get 1. If I differentiate in denominator, I get 2 epsilon. And if now I put epsilon as 0, I get infinity. So my option B is correct. If I'm putting now epsilon as 0, I'm getting infinity. You can verify the same thing for third and fourth, but in B only I got an answer, so I didn't went forward. So my B is correct option. Okay. So this was a mixture of limits question and Dirac delta function. Yeah. Any doubt in this question? So what I'm doing is I'm putting x0 and checking if I'm getting infinity or not. Yeah. So anything left? Okay. So now I'm open to take your doubts. Please start sending your doubts so I can take up your doubts and have a discussion with you all. Now it's your time. I have discussed the most common problems which were asked. Now I can take an individual doubts. So if you have sent your doubt, please send in the message that I have sent my doubt so I can look at your doubt.
भैया ग्रुप में 2 सेंड की.
So Vedika has sent a question in a group. What is that question? Let me send. So can you resend maybe? Oh, question 16 you have sent it. Okay. Question 16, right? So this is on one-dimensional motion, right? Right? If I'm not wrong, it is one-dimensional problem question. No?
The boat one, a boat with a speed of.
Okay, so let me see which question are you talking about. So this the question?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let me save this. What else? What else is the question? This one?
24th.
Okay, let me save this as well. Okay, so let's do Vedika's 2 problems and then so this is a problem. Question number 16 or 17?
16.
Okay. A boat is which has a speed of 5 km/h in still water crosses a river of width 1 km along the shortest possible path in 15 minutes. The velocity of the water in km/h is. So these kind of questions, maybe if you remember, we have done in class 11th. So there is a river going like this. So what happened here is your river is flowing with some velocity and the velocity of the river is VR. And this person is going from here to here using shortest path, which means this person is going in this path with the velocity of 5, not a person, it's boat. Boat is going with the velocity of 5 km/h. But if I want to travel in this path, it means I cannot go in this direction because my river will take me in this side. If I start rowing from here and go like this, I cannot reach here. What will happen is I will reach here because my water is also running, right? So what do I have to make sure that I come here? So I have to start from here so that if I move like this, I finally reach here. So this is my boat's velocity and this is your water velocity. Sorry, this is your water velocity. So let me make a vector diagram. So this is your river velocity and this is your boat velocity and your final velocity is this. So is this okay? So your river is taking you in this side, your boat is taking you in this side. Ultimately what is happening is you are reaching in this, going from here to here. Is it okay? Do you get my idea?
Yes.
So now you have to find the relative speed. So your relative, what is your relative speed? So you are taking 15 minutes to reach from one end to other and the distance is 1 kilometer. Okay. So let me make this diagram more clear so that you actually get a very good picture. So what happening is you're going from here to here itself. So if someone is looking from outside, he sees that you started from here and reached here. But how is it possible that you start from here and reach here if water is taking you in this side? So what happens is it is only possible if you start rowing your boat in this direction. You are pushing yourself in this direction. But if water is pushing you in this direction, so ultimately what is happening is you are going in this direction. So this is the velocity in which you are pushing and this is the velocity in which water is pushing. So ultimately you are going in this direction, which is the V relative. What is V relative? Let's find V relative. V relative is very easy to find. So the total distance you are covering is 1 kilometer. You can clearly see from one side to another side, the total distance is 1 kilometer. And the total time you are taking is 15 minutes, which is 1/4 of hour. So your total time is 1/4. So your total speed is 4 kilometers per hour. So your relative velocity is 4 kilometers per hour, and your water's velocity is, what is your water? You have to find this water's velocity, and your own velocity is 5 kilometers per hour. So Vedika, can you give me some idea that how can I find this V water if I have this? I have given you two vectors. V relative is 4 and V is 5, and I am asking V water. Do you have any idea to solve this now? So the basic idea is, let's assume this, assume this angle, assume this angle is phi. So it means, so since you have no x component, right? You only have relative velocity along y. So your x component is 0. It means your v cos phi equals to v water, isn't it? What is the next component of velocity? V cos phi. And what is this? Vw. So your v cos phi and vw are equal because you have no relative velocity along x. Only relative velocity is along y. Next point. What is your total y component? Your total y component is v sin phi, and this is equals to v relative. So you got v cos phi, v sin phi relative. So what I can do is simple thing, very simple thing. I will square and add. So if you square and add, you will get v square plus v square equals to vw square plus v relative square. So it is 2v square vw square plus v relative square. So what is v square? V I have already know 5, so it is 25. V water square I don't know. V relative 4, 16. So vw square is 50 minus 16, which is 34. It will be somewhere around under root 34. I think I missed something. Did I miss something? Is
Sir, 2v square कैसे आया? V square.
Oh no, it is v square. Fine. Thanks a lot. So 20 minus 16 is 9. So you get an answer 3. VW is 3. Okay. So your VW is 3. Yeah, option B. So I can repeat this question again if you want. If you have understood, let me know. Yeah, Vedika. Waiting for you.
Got it.
Okay. Anyway, everyone else, do you got this question? Very interesting
Yes,
question.
sir.
If you ever want to make a career in physics, these kind of logic-based thinking should be there. Okay. Now, next question, let's take another question, which is we saved, second question. So in this 24th one, right?
Yes.
Okay. So your question is x by tan x, 1 by x cube. So you are getting 1 raised by infinity, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So 1 raised by infinity, a rule I told you already, right? What was the rule?
Sir, e to the power limit.
Limit, yes.
And then that function inside.
Tan x by x cube, x plus
minus
1, right?
1.
Minus 1.
Minus 1, sir.
Multiplied by
power.
1 by x cube. This is a rule, right? Yeah. So now we can start putting ourselves, let me check how we can do this. If I take it in, yeah, so okay, so basically what we want to find is limit x approaches to 0, tan x by x4 minus 1 by x4, right? So let's make it separate.
1 by x cube.
Yeah, 1 by x cube. So this is 0 by 0, right? First thing is 0 by 0. So let's fix first thing first. So first thing will be secant square x 4x cube. I used L'Hospital rule. Now secant square x is 1. So now I'm getting 1 by 0. And here also I'm getting 1 by 0. Isn't it? No? What do you say? I'm getting 1 by 0, 1 by 0. Yeah, I am getting this answer. Now, let me put it here. So, is it minus or plus here? When we raise the power, did I mention the rule E is from minus or plus?
Sir, it is x by 10x, sir, not 10x by x.
Oh, it is x by 10. Okay, okay. Then it is okay. So let me see. It is x by 10x. X by 10x. So it will become 1 by x square 10x. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So let's do this. Can I reduce it somehow? Okay. So I am getting answer e raised to power let me check this. 24. I should be getting 0. Anyone has any idea for this? 1 by x cube. So I multiply with 1 by x. I'm getting 1 by infinity form that I have identified. Then I use the same rule which I know for 1 is by infinity. So I did limit x approaches to 0, x by 10x minus 1, and then I did 1 by x cube. So inside it will become 1 by x squared 10x and 1 minus 1 by x cube. So this is what I'm getting. What is the thing we can get now? How we can reduce it further?
So you can combine the two terms to get some numerator and denominator and then use L'Hospital.
I should use again L, but I can't use again L'Hospital because I'm not getting 0 by 0. I am getting 1 by 0 minus 1.
After combining the two terms.
After combining two terms, let me combine this. Okay. So I should do this and this. Now I'm getting 0 by 0. Or maybe I can take x square common and cut, right? No, so it is x5. It is x5, right? So if I take x common,
X3.
I get,
it should be x3.
I don't think. Okay.
I mean, after cutting, it should get x3.
It should be x3. Yeah. That is okay. That is correct. x3 10x. Now you are saying you are getting 0 by 0. Very nice. Let me try here. So if I try here, I use L'Hospital rule 1 minus secant square x. And in the denominator, what I'm getting is 3x square 10x plus x cube secant square x. I think still I'm getting 0 by 0, right? Because if I put secant x as 0, I get 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. And in denominator also I'm getting 0. So let's do one
It
more.
will be very lengthy.
Yeah. So 2 secant x.
We would need two more derivatives.
I think, yeah, I will be needing one more. Okay. This will go a little bit more. 6x tan x. Can we reduce it somehow? Maybe something we are missing here. No, I don't think so. Okay. 6x tan x. 3x square secant square x plus, okay, this this will go out of hand, I think, right? I don't think so. Question was this difficult. Question was pretty easy because the questions from where I took was not from very advanced book. There is something we can do to make it simple. Think more. Okay, we will come to this problem, back to this problem, and I will let you know how we can make it simplified more. Okay.
With tan x to sin x पे cos x लिखे तो कुछ
If we put tan x as sin x by cos x, maybe let's try this. Let's try. So then it will be x cos x minus sin x and x cube x sin x, right? Cos x will cancel. So it will be x sin x minus cos x 3x square cos x plus x cube, no, 3x square sin x cube cos x. Now if I put 0, I get minus 1 and 0, right? Isn't it?
yes.
So I get minus infinity, right? Right. If I get minus infinity and I put e raised to minus infinity, so my answer should be 0. What is an answer?
Bhaiya, in the numerator, there will be one more term.
Oh, there is one more term. Okay. That is minus cos x, right? So still you get minus 2 by infinity, which is still minus infinity. Fine. Right. Nothing, not a big problem. So you get e raised to minus infinity. So now it is time to put your value here. So I have finally found this. So this is coming out to be minus infinity. So e raised to minus infinity is e raised to 1 by e raised to infinity, which is 1 by infinity, and 1 by infinity is 0. Your answer should be 0. Right? Answer is 0. Yeah. Okay, Vedika. Good ideas.
तो मेरे को क्लिक नहीं किया था.
Yeah.
तब क्लिक नहीं किया.
Okay. So it is good ideas. Yeah. So instead of differentiating tan x again and again, we can replace it with sin x cos x. And that was also a good idea, that instead of keeping it in fractions, we can make 0 by 0 form and take a use of L'Hospital. Yes, very nice. Yeah, what else? Who else now wants to go?
Bhaiya, I have a doubt. What is
Yeah.
the meaning of third polynomial?
Third
In
order
the
polynomial. It will
In
be third.
exercise, it was written only third polynomial or second polynomial.
It means the maximum power will be x cube if it is third polynomial, or maximum power will be x square if it is second polynomial.
Okay, Bhaiya.
Okay.
May
What else?
I have sent questions in the group?
So your name is what is your name?
Mantasha.
Oh, Mantasha.
Mantasha.
Okay. So let's
Ji.
take Mantasha's doubts. So let me open her doubts. So these two, right?
Yes.
Let's save to gallery. Let's save to gallery and let's open these questions in our notes. So let's do one by one. So let's do this question first. So the graph of the function represented by Maclaurin series intersects the graph of y equals to minus x x at x equals to 0. Very nice. So you clearly see, guys, there are two functions given to you. Very important concept, and I think it will improve your physics a lot. One function is this one and another function is this one, and their graph is intersecting. It means their value at this x is same. So I can give you an example. Let's say these are two graphs. This is function 1, this is function 2. So they are intersecting at this point. It means at this value of x, their value of y is same. So I can equate both of this. I can equate x minus x cubed by 3, x 5 by 5, x 7 by 7, so on, equals to e raised to power minus x. Now, can you tell me, Mantasha, what is a series expansion of e raised to power minus x? I have given this in notes that how you can expand e raised to power minus x.
Yes, 1 minus x
1 minus x.
plus x squared by factorial 2.
Yeah.
Minus x cubed by factorial 3 and so on.
So, right. So, if I try to look at both of this, right? If I try to see both of these together, I have to make them equal. When these two will be equal. So let's start playing around. So let's take x on one term side. So let's keep it. So this is your equation, final equation. So on equals to this, so on. So what I can do is I can cancel x cube. So it is 3 factorial, right? So it is 6. It is 6. Okay. So let's solve it. Somehow can we get to this answer? Very, very difficult or very interesting question. Can we identify somehow that what is this function as such?
Tan inverse x.
It is tan inverse x.
This is tan inverse x. So when is tan inverse x equals to e raised to power minus x, right? So do we know the expansion of tan inverse x in terms of e raised to power x? Tan inverse x in terms of e raised to power x, right? I think so. We know this thing. Do we know? I know about tan x. I also know about tan hx. Do we know about tan inverse x? Does anyone know that how we can write tan inverse x in terms of exponential raised to power x? I'm not aware of this. I think. Is it tan inverse x or tan h inverse x? Let me check this. Now it is tan inverse x. Tan inverse x is equals to e raised to power minus x. Okay, let me see how we can write tan inverse x in e raised to power x. We can use de Moivre's. I think we should be able to use de Moivre's theorem. Let me check. I think de Moivre's theorem can be applied here. And using de Moivre's theorem, we can write tan inverse x in terms of e raised to power x, and then we can get some kind of solution. I will give you the solution of this. Good question. Let's come to your second question. If any one of you get an idea, any idea, let me know. Yeah. I think I was solving this question. This is also very interesting question. I was solving this. Then coefficient of x raised to 7 for f(x)s. Okay, Mantasha, I will send the solution of these two questions to you.
Okay, William.
Yeah, I was solving this question. I was stuck at one point. I will solve. I think answer is B for this, but I'm not. Yeah, what else?
Sir, I have sent a question in group also.
Okay, Gorank, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's see your question. Gorank's question. Yeah, let's save. So evaluate the integral at the origin. Right. So in order to solve this problem, you have to come back to the first part where the first question which I explained. So first question which we explained, I said it is r by r square. So do you know how to find divergence? Yes, I gave you the rule, right? D by dr, r square multiply by whatever is your r component. So what is your component? 1 by r square. Right?
Yes.
And outside what do you write? 1 by r square. So this is your answer. But now as a general student, you will think, okay, sir, you can say r square and r square I will cancel out and answer will be 0. Which is partly true. But what if r is 0? Then you cannot cancel this and this thing. You cannot cancel this and this thing.
So we take del here also, right?
Yes, we will take del here also. And there is one identity which I want to give you here right now. That identity is, if you ever have to do this, the answer to that is 4 pi delta r. This identity is well proved in EMT DJ Griffith's chapter number 2. So you know why is coming delta. Delta is coming by you. That is you. But why 4 pi is coming? Can you tell me why 4 pi is coming?
Sir, Gauss law.
Not Gauss law, but if you see, I have to write delta. But which delta? I have to write this delta. Right? So if you remember, if you take this integral, you will get 4 pi. Because you know, right? If you ever solve, how you write dv? You write dv as 4 pi r square dr. It means the contribution because of other two terms is 4 pi. The contribution due to theta term and phi term is 4 pi. So that is why I am multiplying 4 pi, because I am not writing here delta theta minus theta naught and delta phi minus phi. I am just writing here as delta r. Since I am only writing delta r, I have to multiply 4 pi, which is a contribution because of theta and phi. So if I have understood till here, then you have to just put the value in your final here. So what is your now? R square plus 2, 4 pi delta. So you know what is an answer to this? You just simply put R0, right? So if you simply put
yes,
R0,
sir.
you get answer 8 pi, right? So if you get answer, 8 pi is an answer, right? If I'm not wrong. I hope that 8 pi should be an answer.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So this is how we solve this. So this identity you should remember, okay? This one. Very important. So this is 0 if r is not 0. But if r can be 0, or whatever integration you are doing, 0 is within that integration, it means your d by dr r square by 1 by r square is 4 pi delta r. Okay. So if you do this simply, then this is a simple question. Yeah. What next?
Bro, I have sent 2 questions in discussion group.
In discussion group.
Yes.
What's your name?
Tarun.
Tarun.
Yeah.
Tarun has sent in which discussion?
BSc discussion.
Oh, BSc. Okay, got it. Got it. What is this, Tarun? This is some HK Das book, right?
Yeah.
From where is it? I will come to this. Whichever questions are outside foundation physics, I will take it in the end. I will discuss this as well. Okay. Let's finish foundation physics first.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Any question, guys, from foundation physics part? Mantasha has sent 2 questions.
Yes, Bhaiya. There are 2 more questions.
Let's go to that. So let's download these questions, save to gallery, and let's open. So these questions are very good practice to recap all the things we studied in class 11. Yeah. So greatest feature function, right? So let's reduce this, right? So let's reduce for x less than 1 and x greater than 1. Okay, or we can just simply do it now. 1 minus x plus x minus 1 plus 1 minus x, right? And I'm putting limit as x approaches to 1. So let's say I'm approaching x from 1 minus, means this is 1 and I am here. I am between 0 to 1. So if I am between 0 to 1, what is my x minus 1? 0. What is my minus 1 minus x? 0, right? If I am between 1 and 0, 0 and 1, what is my greatest integer function? Zero minus. Wait. This is not simple greatest integer. This is x minus 1 greatest integer function. Just a second. Wait a minute. One minus 1, 0 minus 1. So let's see. Let's simplify. So your greatest integer function says the value is 0 if x is between 0 to 1. What about x minus 1? What about this? If your x is between, if x is between 0 and 1, then your x minus 1 is between minus 1 to 0. Right? Am I right, sir? If your x is between 0 and 1, this is a meaning of, right? What is a meaning? That you are 1 minus, you are slightly less than 1. It means you are between 0 and 1. So if your x is between 0 and 1, then your x minus 1 is between minus 1 to 0. Am I right here? Right? So if your x is between -1 and 0, then what will be the value of greatest integer function? Can anyone tell me this? -1 or 0?
So 0.
0, right? Greatest integer function works in opposite direction if it is in negative sides, right? Isn't it? Or no?
Yes.
It is 0 or -1? What do you think? Greatest integer function याद नहीं है? Simple thing I am asking to graduate students, that if x is between -1, so your value is between -1 to 0, what will be the value of your greatest integer?
So it should be 0.
It should be -1, right? It will be -1. It's always the integer which is less. You can check this, okay? There is not a big issue. You can check this. If you are between -1 to 0, your value is -1. Okay. So now let's start putting. So your value is -1. So now let's see. So 1 is 1. Your x is 1. Your x minus 1 is -1. Now what about 1 minus x? So if your x is between 0 to 1, what about your 1 minus x?
0.
Your x is between 0 to 1. So what is your value of 1 minus x? In which range your 1 minus x lies? So your minimum value of x can be 0 and maximum value can be 1. What about 1 minus x? The minimum value of 1 minus x will be 1 and the maximum value of 1 plus x will be 2. So 1 minus x, 0. 1 minus x, 1 minus x. 1 minus 0 is 1. And 1 plus x, 1 plus x, x is also 1. So it is between 1 and 2. No, wait. Here it is minus x. 1 minus 1, 0. So you lie between 0 and 1. So if you lie between 0 and 1, so this value will be 0. So your answer is -1. Yeah. Now I'm getting it. So let me repeat this concept. Okay. Very good. Very good. We actually revised greatest integer function very nicely. So let me write the function again. So there is no confusion at all. So the function is 1 minus x plus greatest integer x minus 1 plus greatest integer 1 minus x. Now, your x is approaching 1 from which side? You can check. Let's say first approach it from negative side. So let's approach it from negative side. So your x is approaching from negative side means your x is between 0 and 1. So you're approaching here. So your x is between 0 to 1. So if your x is between 0 to 1 means minimum value of x is 0 and the maximum value of x is 1. Now what about x minus 1? What about x minus 1? So x minus 1, the minimum value will be -1 and the maximum value will be 0. It means your x minus 1 is between -1 and 0. It means your greatest integer function will be -1. So whenever greatest integer function lies between two limits, it also always takes the value of the lower side. So it is -1. What about 1 minus x? So the minimum value will be 0 and the maximum value will be, so minimum value will, so 1 minus x. So if I put x as 0, I will get 1. And if I put x as 1, I get 0. So your 1 minus x is between 1 and 0. It means it will take the value 0. So it will take the value 0. So 1 is 1. X is also 1. X minus 1, we already found it is -1. And 1 minus x we found is 0. So if you see this, your answer will be -1. Understood, everyone?
Yes, Bhaiya.
So answer will be -1. You can do the same analysis for positive side as well. So try to come from the positive side and see if you are getting -1 or not.
भैया मैंने इसको 1 + h और 1 - h से किया था तो मेरा आंसर नहीं आ रहा था.
So do this now, because you might be confusing with somewhere in the greatest integer. Na? It's very hard to solve greatest integers in 1 - h. It is okay, but it will be difficult.
Okay.
It's not modulus, okay? It's greatest integer. Yeah. What else? Yeah, there was one more question. So let's have this question. So limit is approaching x is approaching a, and the value of your function is x plus 2 raised to 5/3 and a plus 2 raised to 5/3 and x minus a. Are we getting something wrong here? 1/0 we are getting, right? And what about upper part? We are also getting 0. 0/0 we are getting, right? So if I put a, I get a plus 2. So we are getting 0/0. So if we get 0/0, what is the thing that we use? We use L'Hospital rule. So simply use L'Hospital rule, differentiate numerator. I will get 5/3 x plus 2, 2/3. And since this is constant, this will be 0 divided by 1. So now let's put value of a. So if I put a, you get a plus 2, 2/3. Yeah, this was simple. Right, Mantasha?
Okay, Bhaiya.
Yeah. What else?
इसको भैया अगर हम डिनोमिनेटर में +-2 कर दें तो फिर n into a minus n into x minus n minus 1 भी यूज कर सकते हैं ना? प्रॉपर्टी जो होती है.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, very good observation. Yes, we can do. Yes, we can do. That property we can use. Yes. Yeah, what else? Send the questions, guys.
Sir, I have sent some doubts in BSc discussion group.
Can you resend?
Okay.
That will be, if you resend, it will be great. So maza aa raha hai, guys? Are you enjoying the lectures? I am not keeping it very long. But my main funda is teach everything in 30, 40, 50 minutes. If you can't teach, then don't teach. So I teach everything in 40. No, none of my lecture will be more than 40, 45, 50 minutes. Yeah. So I hope you are enjoying it. Yeah. So more questions have came. Let's have fun. So this question, I think many people will be able to solve. This will be good practice for many people. Let's do it. In BSc group, 4 questions have came. So number 1 is how we can find maximum. Okay, let's save this. Next is how to plot this. Okay. Oh yeah, so very good interview questions. I think these questions are asked in interviews. That is why I think I gave you these questions. So number 1 is how to find maximum and minimum of this. Very interesting question. Very interesting. There was a very specific reason to give this question. So what is the step that you follow to find the maximum? Can anyone tell me?
Derivative.
Yeah. And now let's see what is happening. So if you derivate it, what will happen? Big problem, right?
Yes, sir.
So what should we do? How do we find maximum minimum? When your approach for what I can say, this approach fails, the only thing that is left for you to do is plot the graph. Can you plot the graph of this function? This is a rational function, remember? Right? Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's a rational function. So if it is a rational function, then you can plot its graph, and from the graph you can see that what is a minimum and maximum. What will be the minimum and maximum? So once you plot this graph, how you find the horizontal asymptote? Tell me. The value of y when
X
X
is
equals to
infinite.
x approaches to infinity. This is a meaning, right? This is horizontal asymptote. I am forgetting it. What is horizontal asymptote? Let me see in my notes. This is the same thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Let me verify this, otherwise we will go wrong. Let me verify in my notes. Horizontal asymptote. So horizontal asymptote is a point, the value of y when at x is infinity. So if you put x infinity, so how can I put x infinity? I will say take x common. You will get 3 plus 4 by x. Is it fine, everyone? If I take x common from the denominator, I can write like this. Now if I put x infinity, what will I get? 1 by infinity 0, 3 plus 0. So I will get 0. Right? What do you say? I get 0. What is my vertical asymptote? Vertical asymptote is a point. Tell me, guys, you have done the lecture. What is
Y
vertical asymptote?
equals to infinity. Value of x when y
When y
tends to-
approaches infinity, what is the value of x? Right. So what is the value of x when y approaches infinity? Y approaches infinity means 2 by 3x plus 4 equals to 1 by 0. Infinity means 1 by 0. It means 3x plus 4 is 0. It means x is minus 4 by 3. Right?
Yes, sir.
So let's plot this now. It's a simple concept to plot this. So let's plot two asymptotes. What is x minus 4 by 3? This is your x minus 4 by 3. And what about y equals to 0? This is your y equals to 0. Right? So you will get two graphs, one above this and one below this. What do you say? One hyperbola above this and one hyperbola below this. So what is the minimum value of x you are getting? What is this point? If you see for just this graph, if you ignore this graph, if you just see this graph, what is the minimum value of x that you can get? X equals to minus 4 by 3. And at this point, your y is going to infinity. Means this point is your maxima. Maximum, you need understand, right? What is maximum? The point where value of y is infinity. So at which point your value of y is going to be infinity? This point, right? At this point, you can clearly see your y is going to infinity. So this point is your turning point. This point is your maximum or minimum point. X equals to minus 4 by 3. Okay, I hope that you have understood this. When your d by dx method fails, then this is the graphical method you have to deploy to find out that which point you are getting a turning point or maximum minimum point. So you can clearly see the turn is happening or discontinuity is somehow happening at minus 4 by 3. Or your y is approaching a very high value at minus 4 by 3. Okay, so you can simply say that, okay, your maximum minimum point is minus 4 by 3. You cannot actually define that, is this a maximum or a minimum? You cannot define. Can you tell me why you cannot define? Why you cannot say that this is maximum or minimum?
There are two infinities.
Yes, one is minus infinity and one is plus infinity. So you don't know, is it a minima or maximum? Second, this is a discontinuous point. And if at this continuous point, you cannot differentiate. You cannot differentiate at this point. And if you cannot differentiate at this point, you cannot say about maximum and minimum. Right? So rule of differentiation, you remember in the notes I have given, function is differentiable only if limits exist and both are equal. Then only the function is continuous. And if the function is continuous, only then you can derivate it. So at this point, at this value, your function is not continuous. If the function is not continuous, you cannot differentiate it, or you cannot say that your point is maximum or minimum. You can just say that this at this point, either you will get maximum or you will get minimum. That depends, either you are coming from this side or you are coming from this side. Because both limits will not be same, because function is not continuous. Okay. What else? There was one more question. Second part also you can do using the same method. So practice that. Second is how you can plot this function. Very important. These kind of questions definitely come. So let me give you the answer to second part first. So what I'm going to plot, please verify that I'm doing it correct. So whenever I start plotting, I say what is the value at x 0? That is the first question that I ask. So e raised by 0 I'm getting is 1. Then I ask what is my value at infinity. So my e raised by minus infinity is 0. And what is my value at minus infinity? So my e raised by minus infinity will be 0. So at infinity I'm 0 and at 0 I'm 1. So whatever I have plotted, is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Right? Do you all agree?
Gaussian function.
Yeah, this is Gaussian. Now what about second? First part, your y is x e raised to power minus 2x. So I will recommend you all to plot by yourself. Plot if you can. Just plot this function. The hint is, let's say x is 0, then what is y? Y is 0. And if x is infinity, then what is the value?
0.
Why? Because we can again use L'Hospital rule, right?
Sir, it is exponential function, so it either way.
No,
lies.
but the next will also be infinity, huh?
Yes, sir.
So infinity into 0 is an indeterminate. So you have to deploy the method of your L'Hospital rule. So how I can bring this L'Hospital rule here? So I will write this. Can I write like this? So if I put infinity, upper part is becoming 0 and lower part is also becoming 0. So now I got L'Hospital rule. So if I got L'Hospital rule, what is a method to solve it? I will keep on getting L'Hospital rule, isn't it? Yeah, I will keep on getting L'Hospital rule. Yes, I think this method will not work. We have to see by other methods. L'Hospital method will not work because it will keep getting. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, can't we take the derivative and equate to 0?
To see maximum minimus.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see maximum minimus. Right?
3 power minus 2x.
Yeah, minus 2x I have written. Oh, yeah, here. Okay. So your x is 1 by 2. So at x 1 by 2, you have maximum or minimum. Also, is this function? It's simple, no? If we put x equals to minus infinity, then we are very sure that your y is minus infinity. Isn't it? Because your x will be minus infinity and your e raised to infinity, this definitely will become minus infinity. So you clearly see that your function is like this.
Sir, isn't the power negative?
What?
Yes, sir. e power minus infinity, shouldn't it be?
No, no, if I put minus infinity here, I will get plus, no?
Oh, yes, sir, correct.
Right. So this will be your graph. How many of you agree? I don't know.
Yes.
So कौन समझ रहा है इस चीज को कि क्या deep what is going on in deep inside? So number one thing we did is we try to see what is at x equals to 0. At x equals to 0, y is 0. That is the number one thing we saw. Then we said, what about x equals to minus infinity? So if we put minus infinity, x will be minus infinity, right? And it will be just infinity. So this will be minus infinity. So your value will start coming from minus infinity. It will become 0. And then we found maxima. So maxima is attained at x equals to 1 by 2. So it will become maximum at 1 by 2 and then it will start reducing. What do you say? Do you understand the graph?
Yes.
Batao bhai. Baki sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is how interviews goes. Okay. So these all questions will be there. Graph questions. Many people say give us graph questions. This is what happens in interview. These questions will be there. Okay. What next?
Sir, I have sent something on Zoom chat.
In Zoom chat.
Can you please check?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. Participants. Where I can see the chat.
It's
Yeah.
the solution, simple
Yeah.
solution for that numerical analysis problem.
Is the method wrong for the numerical? Oh, you have sent something. Okay. Let me open it. So let me go up. So I hopefully you are talking about this problem. Which problem is it? Which problem is it? Let me come back. This problem, right?
Yeah, right.
So you put the value of y initially itself.
Yeah, by putting the value of dx, which is 0.2, basically, I can find dy, and then this after substituting y is 0 equal to 3, I get 8.8, which is option B.
It's a I don't okay. You said dx is 0.2. There is dx is change in x.
Yes.
But
So we know y at 0 and we want y at 0.2. So x changes by 0.2. So dx is 0.2.
So y changes by 5.8. So 3 plus 5.8 is 8.8. Yeah, but what about the y value?
Yeah, y value we knew already at the point x equal to 0.
No, man.
And we wanted it at point x is equal to 0.2.
You thought very nicely, but see this. You said our x changes from 0 to 0.2. So this is your change in x. And your y changes from 3 to something. Right? So out of these all, which value of y you will take? Why you only choose this value of y?
Yeah. Because y obeys this differential equation, so it should.
Perfect. I'm saying your x is going from here to here, and your y is going from here to here. Dy is correct. Whatever you putting dy, you are finding dy. That is okay. You are putting dx as 0.2. I agree. That is fine. But what about y value? Which y value you will take between these two limits? This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Which one?
The one at the end point, the first boundary.
Why? There is no logic for that. Why?
Because it is given to us y is 0 equal to 3.
Yeah, well, that is given that your value y is 0 here. That is okay. This is 3. But I am saying you're going from here to here, and in solving that, which value y you will be putting? You can put this also, no? And that value you don't know.
That is what I'm asking.
Yeah,
is that method
this
right?
method cannot be correct. The reason being, the reason which I am telling you is, You have put this value of y, which is wrong assumption. You could have put any value of y. And in fact, the value of y which we put is the average. We average out and then we put that value. So you can either take an average of between these two and then maybe you can find out which value to put. But in order to find average, you should know this value. What is the value of y at here? And that you don't know. That is what you are trying to find. So that you don't know. And this you know. And this value of y is an average value. That also you don't know. So you cannot solve question using this logic. Ultimately, this is a logic. So you have actually reached to the point of a numerical method differentiation. So this is what they do in numerical methods. But they repeat this step. So what they do is they assume that points are very close. And then y is almost same. And then they repeat this. They keep on repeating and ultimately they reach to the final answer. So that is when numerical method approach is needed here. Okay.
सर ये सेम क्वेश्चन एक और तरीके से मतलब ऐसे ही करा था मैंने भी एक बार भेजो सर
हाँ sure. So yes, Legana, what is your doubt in this? X raised to 4 plus 2, right? Again plot the graph. No? Right, so Legana, try to plot what will x raised to 4 plus 2 looks like. Once you plot that, you can clearly see that what will be your maximum value.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I understand what you have done. 3 plus y cube. Yeah, so that is the same mistake. Okay, so whenever you are assuming that, okay, you are again putting the value of y which is at x equals to 0. So you are telling me that your y dash is y cube plus 2. Okay, so if I want to know the value of y dash at 0, so just simply put whatever is the value of x, value of y at 0. So you put value at x equals to your value of y is 3. So you just simply put 3 here and you get 29. This is the logic that you are using.
Yes, sir.
But that will work fine for here. But what about d square y by dx? How you find this? This is not equals to 3y square, man. No. If your dy by dx is y cube plus 2, and if you are doing this, it means you're differentiating with x. You cannot write this as 3y square. You are differentiating with x. Okay, I think you have considered that. So you did first integration with y and then you multiply by dy by dx. Is this what you did?
Yes, sir.
Oh no. Chain rule does not work like this. You cannot split this. No. You cannot do this. So this is your argument, right? So what you wanted to do was, you wanted to differentiate this with respect to x. But what you did was, okay, let's split this. Let's multiply divide by dy. Sorry. Yes. Multiply divide by dy. And find this and then multiply with this. This is a logic that you use, huh?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting the answer? Exactly.
Yes, sir. Option C.
Are you getting option C is 24.26 only? That's just very tricky. Okay. is this chain rule will work or not here? I hope that it should not work. The reason being because you didn't consider this thing. Here is d square. This kind of things work for single derivatives. Single derivative, there is no problem. If you want to find dy by dv, you can simply write, okay, I can split this. Because here only one d is there. But now here two d's are there. No? So it's double derivative. I don't think so chain rule works in double derivative.
नहीं तो सर सिंगल डेरिवेटिव तो हमें गिवन है ना, तो उसको अगर हम एक फंक्शन मान लें, बस उसका हमें एक और बार डेरिवेटिव तो करना है.
उसको एक फंक्शन मान लिया. Okay, so you said this is given to us, so this is y cube plus 2. उसको एक बार डिफरेंशिएट ही करना है, तो इसको आप फिर लिख सकते हैं 3y square plus 3y square, और इसको आप लिख सकते हैं y cube plus 2, और इसमें आप वैल्यू डाल सकते हैं. सही लग रहा है मुझे, तो ठीक लग रहा है. अप्रोच which you are using, I think it is correct. You have used the chain rule, which I don't find any problem. Okay, Krishna has sent one question. So the question is, limit n approaches to infinity, 5 raised to power n plus 1. I think someone here can only answer this. This is not very big question. So can you tell me how to solve this limit? Anyone? Can anyone tell me how I can solve this limit?
5 to power n common निकालते हैं.
So taking 5 raised to power n common. So Krishna, let's take 5 raised to power n common. So if I take 5 raised to power n common, I will left with 5 here, 3 by 5 raised to power n minus
4 by 5.
4 by 5 raised to power n. So here I will get 1, I will get 2 raised to power 5n, and here I get 3 cube 9, again 3 cube 9 by 5.
Sir, 3 cube 27.
27, sorry. 3 square 9. Yeah, it is okay. So Krishna, you understand this point? What I did here?
Yes, sir.
So if n approaches to infinity, 3 by 5 will approach to 0. Why? Because you see 3 raised to power infinity, 5 raised to power infinity. This infinity is smaller than this infinity. So you have ultimately 1 by infinity, which is 0. Or you can understand like this. If I have something like this, number which is less than 1. So 3 by 5 is a number which is less than 1. So if you have something which is less than 1, for example, let's say 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is also less than 1. If you raise to power with a very large number, so you get 1 by 2 raised to 0. It is almost 0. Now imagine if I raise to power with infinity, it will be 0. So 3 by power 5 is less than 1. So whenever you raise any number which is less than 1 to infinity, your answer is 0. So let's make it 0. Let's make all the 3 by 5 0. So you get 5n. So 5 plus 0 minus 0, 1 plus 0. Now this will not be 0, right? Because this is greater than 1, isn't it? 9
Yes.
by 5 is greater than 1. So you will get this. So what you will get then? Take 5 raised to power n above. So 5 raised to power n plus 5 raised to power n. And in the bottom you have 9 raised to power n. What I can write here? 5 raised to power 2n divided by 9 raised to power n. So 5 raised to power 2n means 25 raised to power n and 9 raised to power n. What is the answer of this? Is this infinity or what?
Infinity, it's...
Answer is infinity, right?
Sir, on the top part,
Yeah, please.
how did we took 5 to the power of n on the numerator, because we have 1 on this side in denominator?
No, we don't have
Yes,
1.
yes.
We had 5 raised to power n. And we made it, oh, sorry. We have to take both, na? Denominator, numerator. So this will cancel out. Sorry. This will cancel out. So what we will left is, we are left with 1 raised per 9 raised per n. 5 raised per n. Yeah, 5 raised per n. So this is 0. Now is it okay? So, okay, so let me repeat this again. So I took 5 raised per n common from the numerator. So 5 raised per n common means 5 plus 3 by 5 raised per n minus 4 by 5 raised per n. In the denominator, I get 3 terms. Now this will be 0, this will be 0, because these are less than 1. So I put 0, 0. I put 5, 1, 0, 27 times 9 by 5 into n. So what I am left here with 5, 1 plus 27, 9 by 5 raised to power n. So if I put 9 by 5 raised to power n, that will be infinity, because any number greater than 1, if you have any number which is greater than 1, 9 by 5 is greater than 1. And if you raise its power to infinity, this will become infinity. So it will be 5 by infinity, which means it is 0. So answer will be 0. I hope that answer should be 0. If not, let me know. Maybe something we're missing.
0, yeah.
Yeah, answer is 0. Okay, fine. We are right. Okay. Yeah, but else, any other question left?
Sir, can you please explain that logic, why the method was wrong for numerical analysis problem?
That first one method, right? First method.
Yes.
Okay. So what you used is you did very nicely that y and x graph is given to you, and your dx is changing from 0 to 0.2. So you are changing, going from here to here, and your graph is going something like this. Anything.
Yes.
So your y value is going from 3 to some y value, and this y value you want to find.
Yes.
So you said derivative, you split the derivative. So you did like this. So dy value you are trying to find. Dx value you put as 0.2. But I still don't know why you are putting here y value as 3.
Because I am starting from that point, and dx changes x2 minus x1. I mean, final point is that point, and initial point is 0. And in y, final point is at 0.2, and initial point is at that correspond. I mean, these two are corresponding points. So we need to consider that value only. Why do we need to consider other values?
If you see the equation, if you see the equation, your y is changing. This y is changing variable. As you change from d, you are changing dy. How much change you are doing, that you are finding out. And as you are changing your x, this y is changing. This value is not a fixed value, so that you can put here 3. This y is a changing value. So this y is changing from here till here. It's not a constant value 3 that you can put.
But this entire change which should happen in y is consolidated
Let
in
me
the expression
give you
itself.
yeah. So if I take y equals to sin x, and I do dy by dx, which is cos x. So according to your logic, dy equals to cos x into dx. So let's say I am going from x equals to 0 to x equals to pi by 2. So my dx is pi by 2. So my y at 0 is 0, and my y at pi by 2 is 1. So my dy value should come out to be 1. Right? My dy is changing 1. You agree in this? Okay. So let's find dy according to your formula. So dy is, I am finding. Now you will say put the value here, whichever is a value at 0. So I put here 1. And my dx value is pi by 2. So you get an answer of pi by 2, not pi, not 1. You're getting an answer of pi by 2, which is wrong answer. Right? Now you're getting. So you could have put the value here, which is an average. So if you put an average, then you will get dy as well. So that is why your method is one. You are putting y value, which is, so no, even it is not even 1, it is 0 here. So you are getting dy as 0. No, wait. So when x is 0, your y is 0. Yes, your y is 0. So if you put 0 here, you are getting is 0. You are getting 0. Answer should be 1. Fine. So that is why your method is failing. Yeah. What else?
Sir, I think I got method to solve this. Like I got 20, sir. Like I got the fourth option for some reason.
Okay. Can you send that
Like,
solution?
okay, sir. I am drawing and sending.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Any question left for anyone? Please let me know. So when the course begins, the doubt class will be conducted in 2 separate sessions. One session will be for BSc students. So only BSc student will be in that meeting. And one session will be for MSc students. So only MSc student will be in that meeting. Both will be getting 2 hours each. So 2 hour class for each of the session will be there. Okay. So this is how we will do the doubt class in our course when it begins. Currently there we are doing foundation and everyone is doing foundation. That is why I took a common class. Okay. And any BSc student, if preparing for GATE, JEST and TIFR, he or she can attend both classes, MSc class also and BSc class also, because many MSc topics are also in JEST and TIFR.
Bro, can you solve my differential equations now?
You have solved where you have sent?
I've sent in BSc discussion group.
Okay.
I'll send it.
Okay. Any question I have left, if let me know if I have left any question in between. 2 questions I know that Mantasha has sent. I have to send the solution. I will be sending later on. Anything other than that? Yeah, also, yeah, Tarun also. Yeah, I will come to this. Tarun's questions also. What is the problem here, Tarun? Exactly, can you let me know? In HK Das book under 3.2 example, page 1, not understanding the way a particular integral is obtained.
Yeah, bro. Not understanding how it's obtained.
So if I see particular integral, okay, I got why you are not understanding.
Okay.
Okay, let me show you what is the problem. What is the typing mistake here? So if you see, the number one issue here is this thing. Here it should be -2. Right? First problem.
Yeah, bro. There are a lot of depots too. Yeah.
Yeah. Then what they do is, number one thing they did is, I think they took common. And here it is not minus. Okay? It is like multiplying.
Okay.
I hope so. Yes.
Yeah.
Is multiplying. There is no minus. So then they use this. Then they use this formula. If you have f of d into e raised to power ax, then you can write 1 of f of d plus a e raised to power ax.
Yeah.
So they did a as d minus 2.
Yeah.
Since it is, so they, till here I think it is fine, right?
Yeah.
Then what they did is, then now in order to solve this, we don't know, we know the integrals of these things. First integral, second. So what they did actually is, they tried to open it up. First of all, they opened this, and then this, they got d square plus d. Rest, I think everything is cancelling out. 6 plus 4, 10, got it. Yes, everything got, and then finally got d square plus d. And then they split it always in particular integral. Whenever there is a second order d in the denominator, you have to make it first order. Because 1 by d means integration. 1 by d means integration. You want 1 by d. You know integrals. You don't know 1 by d square. So they tried that. So they replaced 1 by d into d and they factorized it. Nothing else. They just factorized it. So they got this and they got this. And now they're doing is 1 by d times secant square x. 1 by d means integration. So secant square x integration is what? 10x.
Yeah.
Right. Now, what about this one? What is this thing? So if you want to go from 1 by d plus 1 to 1 by d, what you will do? Again, we will use e power.
E power. There's a formula for it.
Right,
E power. Right.
Yeah. So I will do this. So they've just multiplied with d minus x, and then they did its integration. Now do its integration.
From here, bro, there is a problem. I mean, I'm not understanding anything from here.
Okay. Let me. So now, let me explain this step to you. So 1 by d plus 1, they are replacing it to
1 by d.
Secant square x. So if I just simply multiply by e raised to power minus x and divide by e raised to power minus x, okay, and I can say secant square x, this I am taking it up, e raised to power x, and here what I have is e raised to power minus x. I will now put d as d minus 1. So if I put d as d minus 1, what I am left with?
1 by d is 6 square.
Yes. Now you can do its integration. You can. So then they have done the integration and got this. Okay. And you can clearly see e raised to power minus x is outside, which is outside for us as well.
Yeah.
And they have done integration of this thing. And once you do an integration of this thing, you are clearly seeing that they are doing integration of e raised to power x secant square x. So this is a method to replace 1 by d plus 1 to 1 by d. Okay. I hope I cleared your doubt.
Yeah.
Great.
Sir, I sent the solution in the group.
So smile, but the logic you are putting, that is the exact logic they put in numerical methods. Okay. I think similar logic they put also there, because you have taken delta y, delta x there, and
Yes,
inside it is y cube. Again, why you put why, how you put y cube is 29, y cube plus 2 is 20.
Yes, sir. Like, sir, what I did was, since they took 0.2, very small increment, so I assume at y is equal to 0, the slope to be constant.
No, it is not small increment. How you can say it's a small increment? But 0.2, depending on function, can be a very big increment.
Yes, sir.
So y you cannot assume is equals to y equals to 0. It can be any y between initial and final point.
Okay, sir. Like, what promoted me, what motivated me to use that is this differential equation, sir. dy by dx is equal to y cube plus 2. Then delta y will be equal to y cube plus 2 into delta x.
Yeah.
So if I increase, let's assume if I increase 0.2, I will get delta y as 5.8.
5.8. Yeah, because you are putting y value as 3.
Because that is the only value I have, sir. Because in the
Yeah,
question, no other
but
value.
yeah, that is not you can something you can put. Your y value can be anything between 0 to 0.2. X
Okay,
equals
sir.
to 0 to x. Any y in between can be there. So you
Okay.
cannot put whatever else here. That is what I was also telling
Okay,
you.
sir. So I thought we because that is the only information we have, sir. So I thought let's use it at y is equal to 0.
So I will give you, but what numerical method, in what way numerical method, what we did is, we
Yes,
just
sir.
don't find the value here. We find value here. So if you're finding value here, then you can put whatever value you know here, right? Then we get the value here. Then we find value here using the value of y, which is here.
Okay.
Then we find here by using whatever value is here. And then we keep on going in the small steps and finally reach here. That is called iterations, or using the same method again and again to finally reach to your answer. That is why I was telling that we need numerical methods, because we have to go through iterations. Okay. Yeah. Sir, group में class का link send कर दिया करो. Sarita, I already sent the, right? Aren't you in the group? Haven't I added? Sarita, are you in the group or not? Are you in the group now? I think so. I have added you. Yeah, you are in the group now. MSc discussions, Telegram channel. Okay, you have done. Okay. Any questions left, everyone? We still have time. If you want to discuss anything or have any question, we can.
Bro, I sent another question. I mean, the following example. Yeah.
Where is it? Where is it?
After that, HK Das question, bro. I mean.
Oh, okay. There are two questions. Oh, sorry.
I'm not understanding what is omega x there, bro. I mean.
What is omega x here?
Yeah.
I also have to check what is omega x. What they have taken as omega x.
Yeah.
In the theory, have they mentioned something about omega?
No, bro. They didn't mention anything about omega.
Okay.
Our questions were able to understand, but this one is different.
Omega they have taken as 2x plus 1 divided by e raised to 2x. I think they are assuming some variable to make the problem easy.
Okay.
They have assumed one variable. And what is the logic behind assuming this only? Let me see. Why they are assuming this one? Okay. They have their logic, and they have assumed some new variable. And instead of integrating the first integral, integral, they have integrated omega x, and in the integration of omega x, they are getting the integral which we want to find. I think this is what is happening. And omega is something they have assumed. By hit and trial method, they have thought of some omega, that if we integrate omega, in the steps of integration, we will get the integration which we actually want.
Okay.
So this is an hit and trial method they have used to find omega. You can leave such questions because it is their hit and trial. How we can guess that what hit and this is even not easy. This hit and trial is.
And there is no y1 in the question, bro. I mean, what does y1 in omega x? What does y1 square mean?
No, y1 is the two solutions you get. Huh? By using complementary factor, you get two solutions. Y1 is one of them.
Okay. Okay.
Y2 is other complementary factor.
Yeah. Okay, bro. I'll leave it then.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me any other question.
सर डेली की क्लास का टाइमिंग क्या होता है?
Daily class you get recorded, na? You get a recording at around 5-6 AM.
सर ऐप पे तो मैंने देखी थी, वहां पे ओपन ही नहीं हो रही, मिल ही नहीं रही.
कौन सी lecture you want to see?
सर आर्यन से नाम से है जो आपकी ऐप है.
नहीं. Which lecture you try to open? If you download the app, you go to that course, right? And once you go to the course, there is lessons. There is a heading known as lessons. In that lessons, there are all the lectures. I can show you. Maybe let me share this.
Okay, sir.
So I'm showing you the website. The same works for your app as well. So if you go to www.physicsbyaryan.com or you open an app, same thing will open up. So then you can log in with your Google ID. So it will be setting your environment. And then these are the courses in which I am enrolled. If you're not enrolled in the course, you can explore the course. So just explore the course. Let's in which exam you are preparing for?
Sir, IIT JAM.
Okay, so let's open IIT JAM course. So are you in the course or you are not in the course yet?
सर जो आपने फ्री ट्रायल के लिए 15 डे क्लासेस दी है उसका लिंक बोल रहे हैं
उसके लिए ना. हाँ, so you open this course, right? Now you get two options. Either you buy now, you don't want to that, you want access, right? So access free content. So just click on access free content. This opens up. So you see first section is welcome. Second section is foundation physics. In foundation physics, number 1, purpose of foundation physics, then graphical analysis mind map, then graphical analysis lecture. Once you click on this lecture and you play the video.
Okay, sir.
You see this is a lecture. And then after there is a second lecture, then there is slides, then there is notes. Now I have also allowed students to download notes. Initially I was not allowing downloading, but you can now download as well. Then there is a quiz. So same way all the lectures are there. And all the lectures will be given to you according to the schedule. So if you want to see the schedule, go to this full schedule in the welcome section. You can see this full schedule, that on which day which lecture will be available.
Okay, sir.
Right. So same thing you will see in the app. So once whatever course you are preparing for, just go there and click on access free content. You don't have to buy it. And then you see the content whichever is. Fine. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Please.
Sir, in the video of motion in 2D, you
Yes.
have told 2D or 1D, you have told that in the concept of relative velocity, that when two bodies are moving in the same direction and when two bodies are moving in the opposite direction, in the case of moving in same direction, the velocity
velocities will be less.
lesser.
Yeah. And if they are moving in opposite direction, velocity will be more relative.
Yes, I can't get this point.
Good. So let's say there are two trains moving in the same direction. This train is also going with 100 kilometers per hour. This also. Now they both will look stationary to each other, right? Because they are both moving in the same speed. So what do you, if you are a person sitting in this train, will you think that this train, will you see that this train is also moving? You will think that this train is stationary with respect to you, right? You can jump from this train to another train, you will get no harm, because both the trains are moving in the same direction with the same speed. So they both are like stationary to each other. So what is their relative speed? It is 100 minus 100, which is 0. But let's say both trains are moving in opposite direction. One train is going like this and other train is coming like this. Then if you are sitting in this train, you will think that one train came very fast and passed you. Another train has passed very fast from you. It means your relative speed added up. So 100 plus 100 will be 200. Okay. Another example which I can give you is, let's say there is a car in front of you and there is a back car. This car is moving with 15 and this car is moving with 10. Or let's reverse this. This is moving with 15, this is moving. And this car comes from back and hit this. Just imagine this situation. One car in front 10, another car in behind 15. And this car comes and hit. Now reverse the reaction thing. This with 15 and this with 10, both coming head to head and both hit. In which case the damage will be more? First or second? Damage in which? Second. Second. It means the relative velocity was more in second, right? Which means 15 plus 10. But in first case, relative damage was less, means relative velocity was less, means 15 minus 10, which is 5. Now you got the concept.
Yes, sir, but in the slide, you have done that in the, we have got two answers. In the case of opposite direction, we have got minus 10, and in the same direction case, we have got 30. So there I was confused that how can 30 be less than 10, minus 10?
No. If you were in the same direction, let me see the question, what you are saying. I cannot comment. Let me check what you are saying. Have I done something wrong there? Anyone? I don't think so. Let me check this. So in my kinematics notes where I teach relative motion, you're saying, okay. So where did I teach relative motion? No. You can clearly see when they are in opposite, I am written 30. And when they are in same, I have written minus 10. So when they are in same, I have written 10. And when they are in opposite, they are 30. So opposite velocity is more, as you clearly saw. And the same velocity is, same direction velocity is less, as you clearly saw. That is the same thing I wrote there. Nothing else.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Bhaiya?
Yeah.
At what marks in GATE do you get a good IIT or IIC Bangalore?
In which exam?
Marks. GATE,
which exam?
physics.
GATE physics for MTech or PhD?
PhD.
Okay, so let me give you an idea. If you want IIC GATE physics department, 80, all India rank 80. If you want sense, or IAP department 150. Okay, let's assume paper is moderate. So in this 60 marks, for this 57 marks. Let's say paper
Like
is,
I have to go.
yeah, paper is little hard, then you can reduce 5 marks.
Okay.
Okay, and for ISERs, 200 to 250, some ISERs 300 to 350. Top ISERs, and these are bottom ISERs. IITs above 600 score. Above 600 score, you can think like 50 to 52 marks.
And
These
what
are
are the
new-
marks for IIT?
New IITs. Here also you can just reduce 2 marks. You can say 53, something like this. Okay. This is a very moderate paper. I'm saying very moderate paper. If it is easy, then 5 marks more. Not 5 to 3 marks more. If it is tough, 5 marks less.
Old IITs?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. This is not new. I only mean old. Old. Sorry.
Okay.
Old. Not new.
50
New
to
IITs.
52 marks for old IITs.
Yeah. 50 to 52 marks for old.
And if the paper is moderate, then only.
Yeah. If you're looking for PhD itself, best will be
Yeah.
just. You need much less marks, and your rank will be quite high at less marks, and the cutoffs for just is even higher. So IITs don't accept just, but all the top research institutes, ISER, IIC, they accept just.
Okay.
Just is even better.
Okay. And when is the BARC exam? It is near to gate only.
May. It happens in May.
Okay, May.
From last 2-3 years, it is happening in May. That is there. Yeah. So anything left?
And the central universities, they accept gate score. The DU, JNU and all that.
So it depends upon the, okay. So no, they don't accept gate, first of all. And they also accept gate, second of all. So JNU, DNU, DU have their institute fellowship. But it is not 36,000. Sorry, 37. It is not 37. It is either 10 or 12,000. So if you go to JNU or DNU through gate, or let's say just, you will get 10 to 12,000 only. Just like what happens in GNDU, right? Same thing.
Yeah.
But if you go here through CSR, only then you would get full fellowship.
Okay.
If there is some project in JNU or DU, then only there is a possibility that you can get this. But lab should be very rich. And these kind of labs do not exist too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything? Okay, so I hope all the questions are answered. I hope that you learned many new concepts which were not discussed in lectures. I will see you in the next class. Karthik is saying something. Yes, Karthik, any question you have? Okay, thanks. Okay, no. Okay. So let's see you in the next class, in the next out class. In the meanwhile, keep watching the lectures, keep doing the quizzes. So see you all in next.
Sir, can
force
you
of friction का lecture आपने
Yeah,
upload
tell me. Yeah, what?
Force of friction का lecture upload कर दिया आपने?
किस चीज का?
force and friction.
Force and friction will just be uploaded today only. Only I just need to upload. I will upload. Today 4 lectures I think will be uploaded. Force, friction and work power energy.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir, can you send the solution later, please, of that differential equation? So that,
Differential.
yes, sir, that y cube.
Okay, sure. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Okay. Goodbye, everyone. See you all.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, how to join the MSc discussion group?
So once you purchase the course, you will automatically be added. You don't
Okay,
have
sir.
to do anything. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye.